Okay. The reason, everybody's all caught up in the whole Epstein files and all that. And they're like, oh, well, Pam Bondi said that she had the client list on her desk. She may have said that. I know she said that they had a list of the kids, underage children, they had a list of them. So it stands to reason that there would have been a list of clients. You have Gutfield out there saying, oh, a bad guy like that is not going to keep a client list. Yeah, you are. You're definitely going to keep a list. It's like the mob, payoffs and all that. So anyway, you had Musk out there saying, oh, the reason they won't release the list is because Trump is on it. Think about that for a minute. The Democrats, including the FBI and everybody else, they have been going after President Trump since 2015. They made up lies. They lied about the documents. They lied about Russia. They lied about the laptop. There's so much cover-up that is now proven fact. So these lowlifes at YouTube, took down videos of the truth. And they knew it was the truth, and they took it down anyway, just like the China virus. So anyway, if Trump was on that list, I would say 100% positively, the Democrats would have leaked that part of the list. They indicted Trump, 40 times, whatever it was. He was facing, 200 years in prison or whatever the hell it was, some astronomical number. They impeached him twice for no reason. Shady freaking DAs went after him. Nothing ever stuck because he didn't break any laws. That's why they never got him on anything, no matter how hard they tried. So if Trump was on that list, the Democrats would have leaked that part of the list showing that Trump had went to that island. There's no doubt they would have leaked it. The other thing is, if indeed, and also look at the January 6th committee. They destroyed almost 100% of the documents involved with the January 6th, the fake committee. Those documents disappeared before Trump took his second term. They've dug around, they can't find it because they destroyed all those records. So there's nothing there. You don't think that the Democrats wouldn't have destroyed whatever they got a hold of involving Epstein? Clinton went to the island 3 times. That has been verified by traffic records, FAA records. All right, showing that he went to the island 3 times. But you don't ever hear that mentioned. So anyway, if you think about it, that list, if indeed the list hadn't been destroyed, they have hours and hours, thousands of hours of videotape, or hundreds of hours of videotape that Epstein recorded. That whole place had video cameras everywhere. They have all those videotapes. Okay? They all weren't deleted. A lot of the information was deleted before Trump took office the second time. But think about the people that went to that island. Clinton, for one. Shifty Schiff, Schumer, judges, all kinds of senators, congressmen, on both sides of the aisle. I'm not talking just the Democrats. I'm talking Republicans too. You had world leaders, okay, up in high ranks that went to Epstein Island. Do you really think there's any way, any chance in hell that list would ever be released? If that list was released, there's a lot of congressmen, a lot of judges, a lot of senators, a lot of foreign leaders that would be in deep shit if that list had been released. So if indeed she did have the list on her desk, and then now they're saying she doesn't, or she said she doesn't, never had the list, Whether it's a lie or not doesn't matter. There's no way that was ever going to be released because it would have taken out so many heads of state. Yeah, it would have made heads spin. And as far as Epstein killing himself, I think there was shenanigans going on there. You know, and they said, oh, well, no, not all the cameras were down. The one at the end of the hallway was working. Release the footage. And they were supposed to keep an eye on him. I don't think he committed suicide. Or if he did, they went to him and said, if you don't kill yourself, we're going to do it for you. And I believe it's his wife or a second-hand woman or whatever. She's sitting in jail, right? What is she charged with? Why don't they talk about that? And it's because too many waves, too many high-end people would be up Schitt's Creek if that list had ever been released. So they're not going to release it. The underage kids, they have that list, so they say. Well, we can't release that because the name's on it. I understand that. If my kid was turned into a frickin' hooker for Epstein, abusing the kids and raping them, yeah, I wouldn't want my kid's name being released. So that's really the facts of the case are there's no way that list would ever get released. Too many people would be in deep shit. The videotapes. They have hours and hours and hours, hundreds of hours, if not thousands, of videotape. They searched his island 3 different times. They searched his residence multiple times. They found a lot of evidence, but they just don't want to release it. I think it should be released. If they have that information, and Pam Bondi, I'm getting a little pissed at Pam because I don't see any action. Not just with the Epstein files. I'm talking a lot of different things. They've been in office for 6 months. Yes, it takes time to do certain things. And if you listen to Kash Patel, when he was being interviewed about the Epstein client list, okay, and about his not committing, or about him committing suicide, listen carefully to his words, okay? Everything revolves on how you say stuff, okay? Being in the military, I learned early on being in the military, it's how you say what you say. Him and, was it Bangino? Said during the interview, they said, according to the records in the investigation, Epstein committed suicide with no help. The key words there, according to the investigation. The investigation was not done by the Trump administration. It was done by, Biden administration. And we all know they were crooked because they finally are looking into some of the FBI clowns, the head of them at the top of my head, I can't think of who they were. Mayorkas is one. But anyway, they're the ones who actually did the investigation and came up with no list, no clients, no video. We didn't find anything. The case is closed. So that information, those reports, wouldn't have been deleted because they set those reports up so it wouldn't show any wrongdoing. So now Trump comes in and the FBI and Pam Bondi and all them look at it. That's all they have. Well, we've got these, and that's what they said. The investigation reports don't show any wrongdoing whatsoever. It's in how they worded it. And they can't do an investigation because they can, but most of the records have been destroyed. So that's the facts. You have to look at how they word things. That's a big thing. You can word something to where you're lying, but you're really not lying. You're telling the truth. And that's what you have to look at. So everybody just needs to drop the whole Epstein thing, because if there are still files existing, and as far as releasing a video, they could release the video very easily. Because you know, you can block out, I've done it on a couple of my videos, you can block out the faces of the children. So there's no danger of those children's names leaking or being recognized. But the politicians in those videos, and the rich, there's a lot of rich people involved. A lot of them went to that island and abused kids. And you could say, well, they didn't really beat on them or abuse them. They had sex with them. They forced the kids to give them oral sex. So yeah, there's a lot of shit that went on. And there's plenty of evidence. But it'll never be released, because too many wealthy and politicians would wind up in deep shit. Not that they would prosecute, because the Republicans are a bunch of pussies. You know, they've had plenty of time to go after. Look at the agents being shot at, the ICE agents. You have politicians telling people to go out and kill them. Go out and shoot ICE. Go out and beat the hell out of them. And regular people too. They allow that. Look at when dickhead pencil neck. Oh, look at the shell that I found, 8647. Oh, I didn't know it meant kill Trump. Yeah, he knew that. It's an old mob term, back from like the 20s, 30s, when mobs were big, and Vegas was up and coming and ran by the mob. 86 meant 80 miles out of town, 6 feet under. Research it if you want. But that's what it meant. So when somebody says they didn't know what 86 meant, yeah, kill it, stop, done. That's what it originally meant. So anyway, the files, if they still exist, will never be released. The videotape, they're using the excuse of, well, you know, it has children in it and we don't want them, you know, their identity to be out there. Blur it. That easy. But no matter how much people gripe, nothing's ever going to be done. Because the Republicans are pussies. They won't do anything. They've been in there long enough to go after these people going after ICE, go after the politicians. You want to put a stop to all these threats against the ICE agents, all the threats against Trump? Pencil neck should have been arrested. You knew you were telling people to kill the 47th President of the United States. They should have went to his residence, or better yet, went to the Senate floor, arrested him in public view. You need to do the same thing with all these people that are threatening ICE agents, threatening to kill them, threatening to put a bullet in them, threatening to draw blood. You go after those people publicly, and you freaking arrest them. Even if the leftist, low-life, scum-sucking judges, if I was to say, oh, go out and kill judges, you don't think they'd be knocking on my door saying, oh, well, you threaten judges? Oh, well, no, I just said 86 of them. Yeah, they would be on me like stink on shit. But when politicians do it, or they use it against Republicans, you can say whatever you want and get away with it. Go after those people. Start arresting those people and make it very, very public. Even if the leftist judges dismiss the cases, at least those people are going to spend some time in jail and scare the shit out of them. But Republicans are pussies. The Democrats know they can do and say whatever they want, and they're going to get away from it. Anyway, if you want to subscribe, people will be in the bottom right-hand corner. Appreciate everybody watching my videos. I have plenty of videos for everybody. Smash the thumbs up. Anyway, that's why the Epstein files will never be released. Because there's too many people in high power and in politics that would be taken down by that list, including Republicans. That's why it'll never be released. Thanks for watching.